In this video, we'll quickly show you how you can easily integrate your Gloo platform, and in this case, Gloo Platform Portal, with your Backstage environment. Here we have a Gloo Portal environment in which we have deployed a number of API products. So we can see the catstronauts API and the MusicService and so forth. In Gloo Platform Portal, API products are defined as route tables, as you can see here. These route table CRs have additional metadata for the portal to describe the API product, the version, and so forth. In this Backstage configuration, you can see that we have included the Gloo Platform Portal Backstage plugin, both the front-end plugin and the back-end plugin. And the back-end plugin makes sure to synchronize the API products on the portal with the APIs defined in Backstage. As you can see here you can see that we have all 4 APIs deployed on our portal, nicely synchronized with the API section in Backstage. Apart from the description, we can also see the API definition in the form of the Open API specification, which is the same Open API spec that we can see in the developer portal UI of Gloo Platform Portal. In Gloo, an API product and its backing service are defined using a number of Kubernetes CRs. So in this case, we see the route table CR that defines the API product. And then for the implementation, we have a YAML file that has both the Kubernetes service and the deployments that provide the implementation of this specific API. And that's all deployed to the platform. In Backstage, we've also configured the Backstage Kubernetes plugin. And what this allows us to do is that it allows us to synchronize information from Kubernetes with the Backstage environment. And here you can see that we have configured the plugin to also track information and fetch information about solo APIs, in this case the route table that defines our API product. As you can see in our Backstage environment, we have not deployed any components yet, or we haven't registered any components yet. And here we see a Backstage component definition in which we created registration for the track service, for the catstronauts service. Notice the label that we have configured on this CR. This label matches the labels that we have defined on our route table, so our API product, and also on the service and the deployments that comprise this API product and its implementation. So here you can see the label on the service and on the deployment. Also in the Backstage component that defines our track service, we can define which API provides the API of this specific service by adding this configuration section, which matches that API that has been synchronized from the Portal API server, from the Gloo Portal API server. So what we now need to do is we need to register these components with our Backstage environment. So we've created a little script here that does that via the Backstage RESTful interface. And once we execute that script, we can see that the entries have been created. So we get a 201 created back, and we can see the entries pop up in Backstage. What we can do now is we can dive into one of these services. So let's look at the tracks 1.0 service. And here in the relations table, we can now see that the API for this component is provided by the catstronauts 1.0 API, which is the API definition that was synced from the Gloo Portal server. And here we see the Open API specification again of this API. Also in the relations overview, we can see that this API actually provides the API for the component we have just registered with Backstage. And because we've got the Backstage Kubernetes plugin installed and have configured the component we just registered with the label selectors for the Kubernetes resources that make up this service, we can now navigate to the Kubernetes view and we can see the service, the 2 deployments, and the route table that combined define this API product and its implementation. We can even look at the route table and we can see the actual YAML file of the CR that we've just deployed, including the portal metadata that describes this API product in the Gloo Platform Portal format. This concludes this short demo. I hope you've enjoyed watching this, learned something new, and I'll see you at the next one.